Hey, what's going on, guys? We're going to be doing a deck profile of Michael Balan's Darkhold deck as well, just talking about it. So let's go ahead and get started. So his Darkhold deck looks pretty common. I mean, he's got one beige, triple brow, triple Garafa, and then this is where it gets different. So he's got a Malefic Stardust Dragon, which is interesting because I thought he would have main decked more than one if he was just going to play it. Because the reason why Darkhold players play this is because it allows you to keep the field spell on, because usually when you activate the field spell, your opponent waits for you to have something in the grave, and then once you start removing, because removing is the cost, you do have to remove before you get to discard and draw one. So you can then chain MST, that way they remove their just Darkhold card, and that does work. And the reason why it's great is because you just activate this, then you can go Malefic Stardust Dragon, and then you can start activating your Darkhold dealings and all that stuff, and you really don't have to worry about anything. Obviously, they're not gonna just you're not gonna just activate gates and they're gonna MST immediately. They're usually gonna wait for you to activate the effect, and that way you try to remove a Darkhold. That way you have less dark targets that you can remove with gates later on. But yeah, I think that was a pretty good idea just to main deck one. But the thing is, I guess he main decked one just because he didn't want to clog his hand, because if you do draw into multiple Malefic Stardust Dragon, you can't activate well, you technically could activate Drag Down to the grave, but then they would just select Malefic Stardust Dragon, and then you would kind of not go plus with Drag Down, and that's the point of using Drag Down. Then next up, he's got Triple Snow, so being able to search out all those Graph is pretty darn good. And then another interesting choice was he's just playing 2 Tour Guide, so he decided to, instead of the 3 Tour Guide, he decided to play the Malefic Stardust, because he said that, when you open up with multiple cards that you can't summon, it really becomes a problem with Drag Down. And I agree with that, because if you can't use Drag Down properly, you don't want to have cards in your hand like Tour Guide or Malefic Stardust Dragon when you have Drag Down in your hand, because that makes it so Drag Down, they're just going to select those targets, and that's kind of unfortunate. And the point of using Drag Down is to go plus with it. And the targets right here are basically, Tour Guide, you can get Tour Guide, you can get Beige, you can get Brow. So there is enough targets, I would say, that you can run 2 perfectly fine. Then he's playing Lure of Darkness, Card Destruction, Dark Hole, 3 Darkhold dealings, 3 Drag Down, 1 Foolish. I think Foolish is okay in Darkholds. It is kind of like a minus, but sometimes you really do need to get that Grapha in the grave, because if you don't get in the grave, you sit on cards that you can't use. If you don't have a way to discard cards, then it can become a problem, because what good is special summoning a card like Beige when you can't bounce back for Grapha? It's just realistically not good. I guess it just helps out with consistency. The next up, we're seeing Heavy Storm, Monster Reborn, 3 Gates, 2 Upstarts, 1 Deck Devi, which is interesting because I didn't expect someone to main deck this. But it does hurt a lot of the meta. If you play against rabbits and you go second, then this card's not so great after they've established their field. But if you're going against them first, you can Mind Crush the other cards and then deck Devi, and so it does work out pretty well. But next up, we're playing 3 Reckless, so he's kind of playing a turbo build, and that's why we only see 1 deck Devi, 1 skill drain, because he wants a variety of things, and since you are going to be able to draw quite fast, you have 3 Gates, you have 3 Darkhold dealings, you have 3 Drag Down, you have Upstart Goblins. You're going to be drawing a lot of cards. On top of that, triple Reckless Greed. You're going to be able to cycle through a lot of your cards very fast. And that's probably why he is only also playing 1 Skill Drain, just because with Skill Drain, it does shut down a lot of decks. But the thing is, if you draw multiples, it's not that bad. I'm thinking, maybe his reason was because he just didn't have room and he wanted to cycle out to get a variety of cards, like I said earlier. But the thing is, having 2 Skill Drain isn't bad against certain decks, because you can just set the other Skill Drain, and if they, MST1, you can just flip over the other Skill Drain and he'll be good to go. Yeah. And then next up, he's playing Solemn Judgment, so he's not playing Warnings, which is interesting, I guess, because he's going to destroy their entire hand. He's going to take out all the good cards, and then he'll have Solemn Judgment set, so realistically, then any out that you draw, he'll have Solemn as an answer, which is pretty understandable. So he's opted to just play the Judgment, no Warnings in here. I would have thought he was going to play double Torrential, just because, if you Torrential the field and you have Grapha on the field, it doesn't really matter, because, you're going to get Grapha back next turn. That's how you got out Grapha in the first place. So yeah, unless, they warning your next summon, but, technically you already got that card for free, because you get to bounce it back to get the Graph on the field in the first place. So in that aspect, I don't know, I think Double Torrential would have been okay, but then again, Starlight Road is great as well. I'm not sure what I would cut, perhaps, for another Tarantula, perhaps maybe Deck Devi, but Deck Devi is good against certain decks. But the thing is, I'm pretty sure you did the Starlight Road because when you activate Drag Down, you want to set everything, except for, the monsters, because that way they obviously can't target those cards and send those cards to the grave. Otherwise, they would do that. So I think that's why you use Starlight Road, because sometimes when you're playing Dark Worlds and you activate your Drag Downs, you usually set everything, and then if they Heavy Storm you, there's no really answers to it. I mean, as you can see, most Dark World decks don't have very good for back row. I mean, some of us just playing like the Double Warning, and that's about it. None of them will really play Fiendish Chain or something like that, just because there's no room. Just because you do essentially need like this top section of cards. You don't have to play Reckless, but I mean, it does make the deck go a lot faster, and it doesn't really matter that you're not going to be able to draw, because since you have out Grapha anyways, and you can just keep on bouncing back, you're kind of maintaining that field presence while getting that quick advantage and a head start on your opponent, where you could have so many cards in your hand and answers to everything. And so yeah, I guess that's what his reasoning is. And as far as the extra deck, there's nothing too strange. There's a Rage in here, which is interesting. I didn't expect that, because he did side deck a Fabled Raven. So it's interesting. I mean, he's playing 2 Stardusts just because of Malefic Stardust, but that's really about it as far as like any tech cards in the extra deck. However, let's go ahead and check out this side deck. So one Cyber Dragon, I guess, windups, it's good. And I think that this was an interesting choice to side, because, if you're playing against Dark World, you would side out your Maxis, side out your Veilers. So Fabled Raven would jump in, and he would prove himself to be worthy. And the next card, he said this card was an MVP for him. Very good card. And I think that, I'm surprised no one ever saw this. I mean, I personally haven't seen this card see any play in the meta, just because it's really great against Dino Rabbit, though, because it can't be destroyed by battle, and no one really uses the effect where if you tribute it, it can be counted as 2 fairies. The main effect is it can't be destroyed by battle, and it does have decent attack. So that way, if you're playing against Dino Rabbit, you can set it, and if the off chance that you're able to get over the monster, you still have Galanduo to attack with. And 1700 attack is not bad. It can crash Kabuzuls. However, the only bad thing with Galanduo is if you take any damage, you destroy the card. So yeah, I mean, Dino Rabbit obviously doesn't have any cards that do piercing damage. However, in the future there might be some Exceed that does piercing damage. Yeah, but as for now, Galanduo, I'd say it's a pretty solid card. So yeah, this card is kind of expensive actually now. I mean, if you check it out, you can see the picture right there. Getting really expensive, I would say just because that Dark World player ran it and he topped. So props to him for using this card. It is definitely a viable card. It's not just something random that just happened to work like luckily. It is really realistically a great card to side, I'd say, against Dino Rabbits. But yeah, I mean, it also has light, so if you are playing BLS in some decks, and it also has a fairy, so if you are trying to still play agents, I guess. I mean, it is still a fairy. It's pretty decent as far as attack. Alright, next up we get the Goers, and then a Maxi here, just because I guess if you're playing against windups, you can side deck 1. And then he's playing Morphing Jar, and he mentioned that if he was playing against windups, he was able to, if he's able to top deck this card, he can still get back into the game, which I think that, that is true. Although, he didn't main deck this card because he was going for kind of like a turbo Dark World build, so he's trying to go as fast as possible through his deck, and he doesn't want to draw into like multiple monsters that he can't summon the same turn, and that would again conflict with Drag Down, which is one of their best cards. The next up we have a triple MST, because obviously Macrocosmos, Dimensional Fissure, Shadow, Imprisoning Mirror, those are kind of cards that people do side. So he decided to go with 3 Space and then 2 Decree to deal with that, and then he decided to side deck 1 Dark Smog, which was interesting. I mean, I don't think there's anything really at the moment that makes it so Dark Smog is really viable in the main deck. It was great against plants, but plants are kind of not quite there anymore. And then we see a Gozen match and a Mirror Force. He said he only needed 1 Gozen match because, like, against the Rabbit matchup, if you don't draw this card early on, it's not that great, because if they've already got a Logia on the field, yeah, this card realistically doesn't do anything, just because Logia can just negate the next one. But yeah, this has been the deck profile for Michael Balan's Dark World deck that got first place. I would say it's a pretty solid deck, although I really felt like he could have done double skill drain, because that does hurt a lot of different decks. I mean, at the moment, Deck Devi, it does hurt like a rabbit, but skill drain just like hands down shuts down decks. Whereas Deck Devi, it stops it for about 3 turns, which you can take advantage of, and you can start attacking. and then perhaps just gaining them really fast. Because I mean, that is kind of why he's playing like the turbo build. It's just a faster version of it. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Asian Eyes White Dragon, signing out.